Have you ever stopped to think about why languages like German, English, and Spanish share very similar alphabets? Have you ever questioned why different languages have certain words that sound similar to their English counterparts, but not quite? Have you ever thought about why that is? Well, in this video we are going to explore the relationships between languages, why those relationships exist, and how these relationships can make it either easier or harder to learn a second language. All of these topics I just mentioned relate directly to proto-languages. But what are proto-languages, and how do they apply to me? In How English Works, a linguistic introduction, proto-language is defined as a language of which there is no written evidence, but which can be reconstructed from the evidence of related written languages, according to systematic rules of historical sound change and word formation. One of the first individuals to theorize about, and correctly point out the connections between languages, was an English philologist by the name of Sir William Jones. In one of his famous quotes, Jones said, "The Sanskrit language, whatever be its antiquity, is of a wonderful structure, more perfect than the Greek, more copious than the Latin, and more exquisitely refined than either, yet bearing to both of them a stronger affinity, both in the roots of verbs and the forms of grammar, than could possibly have been produced by accident. So strong indeed that no philologer could examine them all three without believing to have sprung from some common source, which, perhaps, no longer exists." Here, Sir William Jones was arguing for the existence of a Proto-Indo-European language, a potential example of a proto-language that could explain the similarities that languages near and around Central Europe have in common. Some philologists believe that the Proto-Indo-European language originated somewhere around modern-day Ukraine, but through human migration split and morphed into 10 similar, but slightly different, major daughter languages, as shown on this map. Another visual that assists in understanding how languages have evolved and created new languages is this diagram. As we can see here, working our way down to modern English, Proto-Indo-European gave birth to Germanic, as well as Balto-Slavic, Celtic, Italic, Hellenic, Albanian, Armenian, Anatolian, Indo-Iranian, and Tocharian. Germanic then split even further into North Germanic, West Germanic, and East Germanic. West Germanic then gave birth to English, as well as Low German and High German. So what? Cognates. That's what. Cognates, at least in the terms we are discussing here, are two words that are related by derivation, borrowing, or descent. To better understand this definition, let's look at some English and German cognates. As you can see here, the English words for my, father, and book sound and look similar to their German cognates meine, Vater, and Buch. So when we read the sentences, my father's book, and das Buch meines Vaters, we can start to see how similar these languages actually are. And that similarity is because both of them are of Germanic descent. Okay, cool. But what does this have to do with me? Well, as a student looking into a second language, These similarities between languages can be a helpful guide. Because of the similarities between languages that have descended from Proto-Indo-European, a student that has English as their first language would theoretically have an easier time learning a language related to their own. However, it is important to note that there are many other reasons to choose a language unrelated to your own. Learning a language like Japanese, Korean, or Chinese can open up a whole new corner of the world to immerse yourself in. You might have to work a little bit harder to become proficient in one of these languages, but if something interests you, there's nothing holding you back. Now, good luck with scheduling, and I hope this video was useful. Have a good day.